Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And Dragon, fuck me, it's January. And, man, there's so many enticing new releases in the cinemas, Dragon. Are there not?
Well, it's boundless. One could say you can't throw a rock without hitting a compelling 2022 January release.
So, Dragon, what I'm saying is movies like The 355. Dragon, get this. The 355. They're all spies, right?
Are they? I have no idea.
But they're also women. Isn't that mind-blowing?
Aggressive, I like it.
Break new ground.
Yes.
And we've also got Scream.
I can't believe it.
Like the third movie in the Scream franchise that is literally just named Scream.
Yeah.
Oh, God. And Dragon, there's a bunch of other movies that come out, like, I don't even know, the new Ice Age. That's not a Blue Sky movie.
This was clearly thought out.
You get it. You get the joke. You get the joke at this point. There's not a lot coming out. Oh, Dragon, the 355, seriously. Oh, God. But you know what, folks? This year, oddly enough, there is a lot coming out in the realm of, of movies. Just this happens to be one of the most dry Januaries in existence as far as new releases go. Unless you're a Scream fan, which I've got to admit, I'm really not. I prefer my horror to be a little bit more gothic and a little less self-referential. So, yeah. So, Dragon, we decided because inevitably this movie memoirs for January is definitely going to be one of the driest spells we've had. I mean, I'm sure we're going to be talking way more about like TV and stuff than anything else. But all right, so let's say, Dragon, let's just get right into it. I'm literally trying to find my list in an email and I'm having a hard time. Dragon, what was the email chain that I initially sent all the thumbnails to you in?
God, put me on the spot here.
I know, I'm sorry.
It's Batcave.
Batcave. Okay, cool. All right.
Peek behind the curtain, folks. I'm sorry. Also, can we either scroll up or put kind of our title out here? It's all we have is the projector at the bottom.
Right. My bad about that too. Oh, it's been a day. All right.
Yeah, same story. Okay.
There we go. Well, you try working a hell job for minimum wage. Right. Anyways. Okay, Dragon. So let's get to the. Oh, wait for it. Let me put it up. The honorable mentions. All right. Yeah, Dragon. What do you have as your honorable mentions?
Do you want me to list all three, or did you want to go?
Yeah, I mean, list. Like you can take some time with it. Just list one. Tell me why it's on there, and then go to the next one.
Okay, so it's basically lay out all three. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so honorable mention number 3: Minions: Rise of Gru. Honestly, again, this one's just mainly.
Okay. Hold on, right there. I need to push the pause button so we can establish one thing, Dragon. All right, your list and my list are going to be very different.
Yes.
You're mostly leaning on the blockbuster side of things. I am mostly leaning on the auteur.
Don't put us in boxes like that. Don't put us in boxes.
Dragon, that's literally the boxes that we are in. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it's like, what if things change?
We'll see. I'm just saying, my list is way more leaning towards potential Oscar contenders and my favorite directors doing their follow-up projects. And your list is basically all the hype. Okay, so I'm just saying, just the fact that you have the Rise of Gru in an honorable like that right there.
I had a reason. I had a reason for it. If you
okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Just put me in a box, cut me at the knees before I start. God. Anyway, what I think the better way to summarize our list and our rankings.
Yes.
Would be the fact that, folks, we did go to, let me this way, folks, there are some things that are on his list and things that are on my list that we just thought, to kind of maximize our output here and to kind of differentiate things. We're kind of we're kind of leaning a little bit. We kind of went for 10 and 13 if you count the honorable mentions, kind of different picks on both of our lists. So just to kind of like change it up, kind of get a nice sampling of 2022 just to get it out there. So in the spirit of that, Minions Rise of Gru is on my honorable mentions, mainly because it was just driving me crazy all throughout 2021, where the thing that happens, folks, when a movie gets delayed, the way things have because of the pandemic, is the movies are marketed as they would have been had they come out when they were supposed to. So I'm seeing all the trailer and the Minions Rise of Gru merchandise. I was like, yeah, I'd like to see that. But when the heck's it coming out? It kept getting pushed all the way to next year. So honestly, it's like bottom of the honorable mentions just because it's just mostly curiosity. I just kind of want to see it get it over with. Sure. Just like, I'm just expecting a fun time. Not Yates, not much. Just like I like the Minions. I'd like Despicable Me. It's one of the things I think Illumination gets right. I'd like to see it.
Oddly enough, like I have learned that the Trey Parker villain is like not popular in the Despicable Me fan base, but that is like by far the thing in that franchise that I gravitate to the most.
All right, so next is Creed 3.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, Michael B. Jordan, he's directing this one. It'll be the first Creed film without Rocky because Stallone's doing some weird kind of like Rocky sequel project that sounds really odd, but he's doing that. And the word is it's going to be the speculated thing is that it's going to be Creed versus Clubber Lang's son, which for the third movie should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Rocky 3 is my favorite in the franchise, so that's definitely enticing.
I just really like that B. Jordan's going to be making his directorial debut here. This is going to be big and kind of following the footsteps of Stallone. That's kind of nice.
Uh-huh.
All right, number one on the honorable mentions. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
All right.
So, I mean, look, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it could have been... Honestly, I was weighing whether or not to put it the number 10 spot. It's just... I mean, I think at the end of the day, I think we said everything we need to say about Aquaman, the origin film that we got, which was good. It's like, we got everything in there, very literally, which is kind of the problem with the sequel. we kind of did everything. I'm mainly going in looking forward to Black Manta and the whole brotherly adventure of Arthur and Orm just kind of like going around doing stuff in the movie. So I mean, I'm sold on just seeing it for the entertainment value alone in the Black Manta. It's just like I don't need it. I'm not a stark raving mad for it, but I would like to see it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So my honorable mentions. First one is going to be Bob's Burgers, the movie. This one looks really fun, man. Like, it's not going to be like the biggest animated event of the year by any means, but Bob's Burgers is always a fun time. I have not kept up with the show like I should, but of course, Kristen Schaal being a main character in an animated movie, that's definitely very exciting for me. All right, next up, Dragon. I am very much looking forward to this. How much do you know about The Bad Guys?
I saw the trailer for it. I'm intrigued by it, but by the same token, I mean, it seems like DreamWorks has still kind of lost a step ever since the Universal.
Well, one thing I can say with The Bad Guys is I absolutely adore the character designs here. It's very, very, very Tex Avery, and I love that about it. And whether the film's any good or not, we shall see. But
Sam Rockwell's in it. Sam Rockwell.
Yeah. So it's like, I definitely have my fingers crossed that it's going to be a good time. I'm kind of hoping for like a, maybe like a Storks level sort of like 90s throwback animated movie almost.
Who knows? See. Yeah.
Okay, and then finally, The Fabelmans. Dragon, this is the new Spielberg movie, and it's essentially a fictionalized account of his childhood.
Right.
Now, the only reason I'm hesitant about this is that directors do this sort of project a lot. This year we got Belfast with Kenneth Branagh. And Dragon, I'm never really all that down for these types of movies. They always feel way too...
self-congratulatory.
Yeah, exactly. And Belfast right now, like, it's definitely losing steam at the Oscars, but... seeing it as the number one pick for so many months in a row with Oscar predictors out there, I was just like, why? I don't see what the big, like, fucking, all right, like the family struggled and then the dad sang karaoke at the end. Wow. Like it's, so I don't know, like I'm looking forward to it. It very much has the potential to be the Belfast that actually hits me. But I don't know. I just can't look that forward to it when it's just not a style of movie that I'm into. All right. Okay, Dragon, without further ado, let's get right into it. What is your number 10?
Hey, you're not missing one. That was 3 honorable mentions.
Three on. Oh, yeah, I did. Bob's Burgers, the movie, The Bad Guys, and The Fablemans.
Gotcha. I just want to make
Yeah.
sure. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll start with me then.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 10 for me, The Flash. There's no action. This is number 10, folks. So yeah. So look, I'm looking forward to this mainly. I'm looking forward to the Keaton of the '89 kind of return of Keaton playing '89 Batman, which. Basically, I'm looking forward to that in a movie that I'm sure is going to be a botched Flashpoint movie, unequivocally. Basically, the way you and a lot of people felt about No Way Home going into it, I'm
Right,
feeling that way,
right,
just with a lesser degree of a chance of success. I'm feeling on this one. Yeah, I mean, look, it's like the plot. Essentially, every time they keep putting out the plot for this movie, it's literally Flashpoint, yet no Thomas Wayne Batman or Reverse Flash, which baffles me to no end. Which is like the two most important characters in that story not going to be there. So unless they have like the Grant Gustin Flash from the TV show, and they crossed over in that show once, if they have Grant Gustin in this movie in like a role that matters, they're just doing an ingenious job of hiding him and throwing you off the scent with the '89 Batman of it all. I don't, and like, dear God, if Tom Cavanaugh Reverse Flash appears in this movie, and they've just been hiding them, I'll take like every word I ever said against this movie. Like, oh my God, look what they did, and they not only gave us Reverse Flash, they gave us the best Reverse Flash. I mean, anyway, so. I mean, I expect this movie to be like a love letter to '89 with some light, very light shades of Flashpoint. Basically, the inciting incident to get Flash to meet Batman will be Flashpoint, and that'll be about it. I wish we didn't start a Flash movie off like with a big multiversal story. I think we should have gone small scale, like he's dealing with the Rogues. Or here's an idea. Maybe we begin the Flash by proxy of the Reverse Flash, who is obsessed with this character. We learn about the Flash, and he learns about himself through the Reverse Flash. Novel idea, I know. Maybe get Anthony Starr to play Reverse Flash, but no. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to it, but not eagerly.
Okay. All right, my number 10 is going to be The Norsemen. And this is the follow-up to my favorite movie of 2019 and one of my top 10 favorite movies of the decade, which was The Lighthouse from Robert Eggers. Dragon, honestly, that alone, like just it being the follow-up to The Lighthouse, is why it's on my number 10, because you know how much I dug The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse was a very special movie to me. But I will admit I am concerned with this one. It feels like it's by far the biggest production that Robert Eggers has done, which on some level has me excited because this guy is known for his production design and he's known for, kind of color, like, what?
This one's going to be in color, isn't it?
Yes. This one's going to be in color. It's going to be obviously all about Vikings. It's a big revenge movie. The biggest thing I'm worried about, Dragon, is I feel like Robert Eggers has kind of made a career out of very, very small, intimate stories revolving around a shoestring cast. In The Witch, you had just the one family. And then obviously in The Lighthouse, you just had those two guys, and that was it. This feels much more like, it almost feels like, in comparison, it feels like a Black Panther, where it's like, there's all these different Viking tribes and heroes and villains. And Dragon, I'm worried that Robert Eggers is going to get kind of like bogged down. Like, if I'm being honest with you, just based on the premise and based on how much he's expanding everything, I'm honestly going to be surprised if this lives up to The Lighthouse and The Witch as far as like my personal enjoyment goes. But it's got Willem Dafoe as a crazy ass Viking, so I'll take what I can get. I am looking forward to it. I'm just worried that Robert Eggers is going to kind of bite off more than he can chew in the production and story department on this.
Okay. All right.
All right, one sec. Let me scroll down. Okay, number nine.
Okay. So, a Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Okay, speaking of Black Panther, I didn't even intend that. All right.
So here's the thing. So this would be higher, but I gotta tell you, I would bet all of King Midas's soul. Here are the two things that put this in number 9 for me. Okay, one, I am not unconvinced. I would bet all of King Midas's silver at this point that of all the movies this year, this for sure will get delayed to 2023.
Ooh.
There's a lot going on in the production right now. People are, they just now have started shooting again after someone has been hurt on the set. I'm just saying this thing's like that. I'm hearing like people are petitioning because they want to change the course where they want it to be recast, which I don't think is going to happen. But the fact is, I'm not convinced we're going to have to maybe add more reshoots or something's going to happen or something else bad's going to happen on the set. I'm just not convinced this is going to make it to 2022, honestly. So that's the main reason this is number 9. Secondly, right now we don't know a lot about it. It's just all spec of like all the cool stuff that absolutely could happen for this, and also about a movie that has unfortunately lost its main character and its main namesake. But we're trying to kind of change that with the Wakanda Forever at all. The big question going in this movie is like, is our villain going to be Doctor Doom or Namor? I think the smart money's on Namor, but can you imagine the only way you're going to compensate for having lost T'Challa is we're going to give you Doctor Doom.
Oh yeah, totally.
But again, I think Namor is more setup, so I'm betting on Namor, hopefully played by Keanu Reeves. Anyway, and also the big question is if we do replace Black Panther, which is not a certainty because we did burn up the plant, the Wakandan herb last movie. So I don't know if we can physically have another Black Panther or if it's going to fall to one of our other characters that we've set up. So that'll be
M'Baku, dude.
That is my personal pick. I would love
everyone's saying Shuri, and I love Shuri as a character, but
that's what I'm saying. Let me tell you who I really don't want to be the next Black Panther. There's one person, if they become Black Panther, they're gonna have to do a heck of a song and dance to sell me on this character being Black Panther. It's gonna be, so Lupita Nyong'o is going to be in the movie. So Naki is coming back, and they're really touting her up in terms of the highest ranking kind of star. Like she gets top billing, I think. I really hope that means she is not going to be Black Panther if they pass on the mantle.
It's fine because she's the highest rated star, but I feel like out of all the main characters in Black Panther, like she was good in Black Panther, but I feel like she's easily the one where people are like, yeah, I could kind of take or leave that character.
I think Tiki, it boils down to this simply for me, okay? Of all the people who were in Avengers Endgame, and I mean everyone was there, even Natalie Portman, she didn't even want to be on the set and they got her in there. If everyone who was in Endgame, and between Endgame and Infinity War, pretty much everyone in the MCU was there who needed to be there. The one person who was not was Nakia. I don't think that's by accident. And just to make that character the next Black Panther would be a mistake to me. But again, any of the three others, like again, M'Baku would be the front runner because he wanted the title in the first place. Shuri is it in the comics, but now that might be a little trickier. And then of course Okoye essentially was the king. Well, he was the leader.
I don't want it to be Okoye just because I feel like she kicks so much ass in her current position.
Well, I agree. That's why she'd be my third choice. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. These are like three logical choices, though. At least there's some. She was the leader for the 5 years, so it would make sense, and she would have history with Namor if he were the bad guy in this. So, anyway, the point being, this movie could be really interesting if, again, we basically answered the question of like, okay, so we've lost our fearless leader, and that was the thing that really defined our culture. What do we do next? And what do we do when a threat comes knocking at our door? Now we've lost our bold new leadership.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, so my number 9 is going to be Don't Worry, Darling. And here we're going to get into like very obscure picks for most of my picks, Dragon.
I figured.
So Don't Worry, Darling is the follow-up from Olivia Wilde to Booksmart. Dragon, did you ever see Booksmart, Dragon?
No, but it's Olivia Wilde directed Booksmart, right?
Yes, Booksmart is absolutely delightful and one of the best like pure comedies of the past decade, I thought. And here, well, let me just read off the IMDb description because I have a feeling that's literally the only information we're going to have for a lot of these.
Tiki, there's a trailer, isn't there?
I don't know if there is for this one or not.
I'm just saying, when the image said like official trailer, so I'm going to just make the leap that
there probably is, yeah. But Don't Worry, Darling, a 1950s housewife living with her husband in a utopian experimental community begins to worry that his glamorous company may be hiding disturbing secrets. So I'm stoked about this one just based on the premise, and
Sounds
I
good.
think Olivia Wilde is a very, very talented filmmaker. It's not higher than number 9, though, just because it's going to be a bit of a transition going from, a straight up like coming of age comedy into something like this. But I do have hope for it. It sounds like a very original premise, and dragging my girl Florence Pugh is in it. And
good old Florence Pugh.
Pew pew. All right. Anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this. I know it's not going to be like one of the bigger releases of the year or anything, but I think Booksmart continues to be like the people who have seen it love it, but I think overall it's still kind of underappreciated. So I'm really rooting for this director. All right. Number 8.
Thor, Love and Thunder.
All right.
So, I really enjoyed Ragnarok. And, this... Now, it's entirely possible that this could overstay the welcome that we got from Taika Waititi's take on Thor with Ragnarok. Now, I'm down to see more of what he has in store for that character. And what's also helping this movie is the fact that, hey, we got the Guardians of the Galaxy are going to feature in this as well. So kind of holding us over a little Guardians action till Christmas. I'm really interested to see, the biggest thing I'm going in this movie interested to see is like, okay, we're finally doing Lady Thor, which I thought was an impossibility because the perception to me was always Natalie Portman, just like, because she was so kind of wasted in those Thor movies, she couldn't care less about, like, okay, they don't have anything for me, I'm out of here. So I'm assuming, hey, Lady Thor, I'm back. Couldn't be bothered to shoot some new stuff for Endgame, but I'm back.
You know what my prediction is for this?
What?
I have a feeling the Lady Thor thing is going to be a one film kind of deal, and that by the end of the movie, that whole plot line is resolved.
Well, what do you mean by resolved? You mean like she's not going to come back again as Lady Thor?
Yes. I think that basically what I'm thinking is Natalie Portman was basically like, you know what? Give me one more movie where I can actually do something, but fuck you guys, I'm not doing this long term.
Oh God, see that's just not filling me with confidence.
I'm sorry to put that in your head, Dragon, but that's kind of the vibe I'm getting.
It just feels like people are really divided on Ragnarok. Some people don't think it's overly comedic, like the diehard.
Are people really that divided on Ragnarok? I thought it was one of the more agreeable movies of the MCU.
I'm saying the Thor fans really are ticked off of Ragnarok. I thought they did not like the comedy at all. But that's
they're wrong, but okay.
Look, I'm not disagreeing. I think I like the balance. I think it strikes a balance. Yes, maybe it's too even a balance. Could have been like a little more dramatic with the humor being where.
I mean, I agree with that. I agree with that sentiment, but it's still an awesome movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So basically, Ragnarok, it kind of some people have maybe taken things a little too seriously, kind of looking at the Ragnarok as the butt of the MCU in that regards, which I think is a little inaccurate. But anyway. Point being, the fact that if Natalie Portman, after all of that, if Natalie Portman just comes back, they're like, "Hey, I'm Lady Thor, yay!" and I'm leaving. What? I don't see that going over well. I assume like Lady Thor is a big deal, and it would solve the conflict that I wonder is how this movie's going to end up being. Where Chris Hemsworth is very pro Thor. Like, I love being Thor. I don't want to leave. So it's a question like, what's a Thor to do when his namesake is taken by Lady Thor? Mm-hmm. So that's your solution absolutely would like secure his future. Sure. Right. Yeah. But anyway, I do wonder what I'm hoping for though, honestly. I'd love to see these two crazy kids get back together, man. I'd like to see that. Like this, because I mean, Endgame really puts in perspective.
I just want to see the Asgardians of the Galaxy.
Well, we're definitely getting that. We know we're getting Tiki. That's the thing, and possibly Thor in the Guardians movie as well. It's the question of how that's going to work. I
love that synergy. Honestly, I really like that synergy.
It does make me wonder. I wonder if Thor, because it takes place in between movies, Thor might be in the Christmas special.
Oh man, I'd totally be down for that.
I mean, it's possible because it's supposed to canonically take place in between them. So anyway, so you see what I'm saying though, where it's that based on what we saw in Endgame, I'd like to see him get back together, seeing how much of a mess Thor was and how much he was missing Jane. It'd be kind of nice. Also, big thing, if you have like a lot of cool things come with this movie. You got Gore the God Butcher played by Christian Bale, which I'm sure.
Okay, first of all, Christian Bale just being in an MCU movie, just in general, feels surreal. Like he feels like one of those actors that would never touch the MCU. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And again, the thing
So
about this though,
I'm very stoked for that.
think about this though, the Thor
Don't
movies have the,
we have someone else who's really cool, right?
what well, off the top of my head, I mean, we have like I think the Grandmaster's coming back in a role, but he's a Goldblum. But I'm
Oh
trying to think.
God, I'm blanking on it. I thought it. Oh shoot. Okay, my bad.
Maybe I don't know if Olivia Colman's going to be in this. I don't know if that's. I know Melissa McCarthy's
No,
going to be in like
forget
a
it.
camp anyway. So, what was I getting? All right.
I'm probably thinking of like another
Oh wait,
MCU movie.
was it Russell Crowe?
Yes, that's it. Yes.
Yeah. I don't think they've said who, or I don't know if they've
Uh-huh.
said like he's going to be in like they're going to do like a play gag like they did last movie. So I don't know if Russell Crowe is
It
going to
looks
be
like
in.
Matt Damon is in the cast too.
Well, remember
so-
he plays Loki.
Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah,
they have like Melissa McCarthy playing Hela this time around. Ben Foster, her husband's going to be in it. And then, anyway, so regardless,
Wait,
we know
Melissa
Thor's.
McCarthy's. I'm sorry, Melissa McCarthy is married to him.
Did I say Ben Foster?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I meant Ben Falcone.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I was like, Ben Foster? Really?
I was thinking Jane Foster, and it wormed its way in there.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, no, but Ben Falcone, that's her husband, who many times when he directs, like they work him in there. He was in, like,
Yeah.
Anyway, my point is, we know Thor's back in shape. He's in these, healing from the trauma from the Endgame. So it's gonna be nice to see kind of like things getting back on track for Thor and his former glory. The big thing I'm hoping for, please, oh please, give me some Beta Ray Bill. Russell Crowe is Beta Ray Bill. Come on. The Gladiator as the Gladiator, man.
Right.
That'd be awesome. It'd be so cool.
All right. So my number 8 might be the movie out of everything on the list where we just don't know a ton of details about it at all. It's Babylon. And Babylon is the latest from Damien Chazelle, who did Dragon. Literally, I think 2 of my top 5 movies of the decade were both this guy's movies, in Whiplash and La La Land. And then he did First Man, which was fine. I mean, I know First Man has its fans. I wasn't one of them.
Let's send Gosling to space.
I just thought it was kind of boring, honestly. But Dragon. Babylon is about the transition from silent films to talkies, which has me excited, but it also has me worried because, like, Damien Chazelle got a lot of flack for La La Land for basically, like, kind of copying the Singing in the Rain style, and now he's literally copying the story. So it's like, I don't know how that's going to work out.
Do you think there's any chance this is a black and white movie?
Well, we don't know. So I honestly do think there's a chance. Yeah. But of course, the cast, Dragon, we have Toby. He's like honestly the main reason this is on the top 10 and not an honorable mention. Toby, as well as Brad Pitt, Emma Stone, Margot Robbie. I mean, those 4 right there. That's a freaking Mount Rushmore of star power. And I am looking forward to him doing another Hollywood musical. If this is essentially a spiritual successor to La La Land, then bring it. I don't know. Like, it's definitely going to have a hard time, like, living up to La La Land. But if Damien's up for the challenge, I'm there for it. So we'll see what happens with this one. All right. Number 7, Dragon. What do you got?
Black Adam.
Okay.
All right. So for the DC side of things, Black Adam essentially is the Venom equivalent in terms of, they've been threatening us with a Venom movie for decades. They've been threatening us with this Black Adam movie for even longer. It feels like. No, not as long, but still feels almost as long. It's basically So this has been spot on casting ever since it was announced because The Rock looks identical, especially younger Rock, because that's the thing that bugs me about this movie. Everything's pitch perfect except for when The Rock was younger, like the Game Plan era Rock, like in 2008. He had like the hair that matched up exactly to what Black Adam looks like the
right, yeah.
And it's like that Bruce Willis pride of like, well, let him put the little thing on. Come on, man, you're so darn close. That's like the little pet peeve. That's fine, regardless. The Rock is made for this guy. I'm really here's the big hope for this movie is that I want him to go a very, very specific way, and it's the accurate way that the book goes. And there's it being an anti-hero story. There's a chance they do not go this way and they just go the easy route. The way it should go, Tiki. You want to make this movie something special, something memorable. It's going to be the failed hero story, and that Black Adam tried to be a hero and it didn't go well. I'm hoping that's what the story is. Basically, he starts off kind of like he tries to be a hero, fails, he's a bad guy, and then maybe works his way back to anti-hero. That's a 3-movie arc I'd love to see. I think it's entirely possible if you're going to bring this character back like they absolutely want to, because they want to eventually put him in the Shazam movie. Because we set up the whole he was a bad, we gave the guy a Shazam power and it didn't go so well. So we've set up that much. So I don't think it's out of the realm possibility we could do that failed hero story. And the thing that has me really excited for this movie, the reason it's on the list, honestly, is we're exploring this potential story via the JSA. Black Adam's going to hang out with the Justice Society of America, which has a star-studded cast. There's a lot of old-school heroes you don't see all that often. For example, my favorite, Aldous Hodge as Hawkman. I love Aldous Hodge in One Night in Miami and Invisible Man. So him playing Hawkman is great. And we're getting Dr. Fate played by Pierce Brosnan. We're getting Atom Smasher. We're getting Cyclone. We're getting like a really cool lineup going on there. So that alone, just the idea of like using that as our foray, and basically,
Tom Beast wants to know who you think the villain Adam should fight against would be.
Well, Darkseid's too much. He's suggesting Trigon and Darkseid. I mean, Trigon's more Teen Titans affair, and without Raven, I don't think we're doing Trigon. Darkseid, not so much. You need a JSA villain, and I mean, I forget if the Injustice Society of America is. Because I know that's in Stargirl right now. I forget if that was comic accurate. They kind of like adapted like the Injustice Gang model. I'm drifting over there. My point. I don't know who the villain be, because I think the idea is just kind of like they use like a generic guy, and then Black Adam would basically become the villain of the film. That's where I'm hoping it goes. So regardless, we could use this movie to explore the DC universe, kind of like Shazam did, only maybe in a more dramatic sense. And The Rock cares about this character. He stuck with it for so long. He didn't just give up on it. This could best case scenario, this could be his Deadpool, man. This could be something special that he really cares about. And a lot of possibilities for a redemption arc across a franchise. I'm hopeful for this one.
Tom B says also Hawkman doesn't get enough attention, especially since Hawkgirl takes a spot.
Yeah, that's because of the animated series, obviously, but that's
okay.
True.
So my number 7, Egad's Dragon. It's a mainstream movie. Can you believe it?
No.
My number 7 is Avatar 2. So here's the thing with Avatar 2. Yes, Avatar is a very trite movie as far as the story goes. Yes, it was basically a tech demo. Avatar 2 has such a mystery around it, and like through the years it's just been this running joke of like, hey, he's never gonna actually finish it. And I got to admit, Dragon, there's 2 factors that really have me excited for this one. Number 1, like I said, is just the fact that James Cameron has taken such a long time with this, and I'm just very excited to see the technology at play. And also just underwater Pandora just seems very, very intriguing to me visually. Number 2 is that after Disney opened Pandora, the World of Avatar at Animal Kingdom, I got to admit, I've gotten more into this world. I do think that was a stroke of genius on their part for future marketing potential, because like, it's one of those things where it's like before the land, I really could care less about Avatar, but after the land, Avatar is on my mind. It is like, in my frame of reference for something that I am interested in. So, and Flight of Passage also has those like giant fucking whales that pop out of the waves. And if that's any indication for how cool the underwater creatures are going to be, I'm excited. Dragon, of course, I hope that the plot of this thing isn't as generic. I know that there's going to be a lot of baby Jake Sully's running around in this movie, a lot of kids, so that makes me worried. But I am just mostly stoked on this from a purely technical point of view. I can't wait to see what this movie actually looks like.
Two things with Avatar 2. One, just in the image that's on the poster, because this is kind of like a casting reveal too. Edie Falco is going to be in Avatar 2, and I love Edie Falco. Secondly,
as well as like half of the characters in Avatar 1 that died.
Which is a bit of a head scratcher, but not a real possibility. Flashbacks, technology, pre-recordings, it's entirely possible.
Yeah,
it's an easy thing to remedy, but the only way you're really going to get me in a theater to see Avatar 2, honestly, is if they reveal, hey, when Cameron made this one, the reason it took so long, everything that's not underwater, animatronic performance.
Oh my God! Oh, can you?
That's the only.
I mean,
That's the
that's
only
never
way you
going to
get.
happen.
I
But...
know that's what I'm saying. It's the only way you get me in there, like to get me hyped to see Avatar. It's like, oh
Yeah,
god, it's
yeah.
it's that's why it took so long. He got actual animatronics.
Oh my God!
No wonder it took him so long. He made it as real as he possibly
Tom
made.
B says, ever since Terminator Dark Fate, I'm not sure how to feel about the Avatar sequel. Well, I will just throw out the caveat that James Cameron, I believe, had nothing to do with Terminator Dark Fate.
Well, I mean, he did that thing which you can only give it so much credence, where he gave it the thumbs up, but like, yeah, I approve of this. But
He's the executive producer. Yeah, all right. Well, he wasn't in the creative chair with that. So.
I'm just saying he did that thing where he's saying, no, this one actually counts as the third movie, but he said that with the last movie, so it really doesn't hold any water.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Terminator is not his passion anymore. Avatar clearly is. So on that level, I'm excited.
Plus, he's shooting them back to back. It's taking him he's shooting like at least 3 to 4 of them.
Which I still think is absurd, but
that's what I'm saying. I think he, Jimmy, just like maybe stick around. Maybe just confirm Alita 2 is going to happen before you do Avatar 4.
Oh, that's cute that you still think Alita 2 is going to happen.
I bring it up because Rodriguez, because of the Boba Fett stuff, he's been saying, yeah, I mean, I absolutely would love to make Alita 2, and there have been discussions, but again, I don't think they're hoping discussions.
I mean, if we're going to fast forward to Book of Boba Fett, man, episode 3 definitely was like, hey, this very much feels like Alita Battle Angel. It sure does. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing in the Star Wars universe, stay tuned, but...
Can we just focus on Alita being a nice movie? Can we just get that?
Alita's a very underrated movie.
There you go. That's what I'm looking. That's all I'm looking for.
All right.
Okay. All right. Moving on. So that brings us to 6, right?
Did I? Yeah. I said my number 7. So yeah, 6. Okay. Number 6. What do you got?
Turning Red.
Okay, this was definitely, I mean, Dragon, if it weren't for the fact that at a certain point I really wanted to try and make our list as different as possible, this would have easily been up there for me.
Exactly. So again, we wanted to get the most picks on here, folks. So certainly, and this is where we're starting to get into the crossover territory. You're going to have a movie coming up that I want on my list, but we opted for the
So Dragon, the one thing with Turning Red, I am very stoked for it as far as like an original concept from Pixar. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I fucking love that Pixar has been doing this whole picking out new talent and giving them the reins. I think it's a much better idea than what Marvel's been doing with this guy's directed one independent movie. Let's give him a giant franchise. And I don't know. I'm very stoked for this. What do you think of the Disney Plus thing? Because I'm honestly I am secondhand pissed.
Okay, here's how I feel about it. So, on one hand, I really think it should be reversed. Where at this time, I think the Disney movies should be released via Disney Plus, and the Pixar movies I think they put in the effort. They should be released theatrically. By the same token, I mean, to me, I just like being able to watch it from the comfort of home and just the idea of by that logic, let me this way. I understand. I
out of the 2 Pixar movies that are coming up, this definitely makes more sense to go straight to streaming.
I mean, if
Lightyear goes straight to streaming, Dragon, oh God, forget it.
Tiki, if that happens, here's the thing. To me, it's kind of like a refreshing trend. Like, oh, look, the Pixar movies I want to see are on Disney Plus. That's how handy, how convenient. But I understand completely.
It was nice to just have Luca right there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just to make it that easy. I think Luca I think benefited from that. But here's the thing: though, I feel bad for Pete Docter because he really wants these movies to be seen in theaters. So that's where it gets me. It's like I feel bad because of that. By the same token, it's like everyone's enjoying these and having a great time with these. However, the films that really should be going to Disney Plus, oddly or not, like Encanto should have joined the Rayas of that year's coming out on Disney Plus for everyone's benefit, just to make things easy. But that's just my 2 cents. Regardless, Dome Shi is directing this. Speaking of giving the proper directors a shot here. Again, after Bao, which Bao just had me, man. Bao was just amazing. So she is she's going to be directing this, bringing a lot of a personal kind of her Canadian Chinese roots to the screen here, and kind of an Inside Out-esque kind of take it could possibly be. Yeah, again, it seems like we're gonna explore perhaps kind of like the touch. I think this movie at best could be like the touchstones for anxiety-ridden masses in any way, shape, or form you'd like to tack on there, whether it be because of the pandemic or pre-existing issues. I think people who deal with anxiety are gonna get a real kick out of this movie.
Totally.
I mean, this could be like the Incredible Hulk for millennials because it is set in 2002. By the way, it's in the early 2000s.
In Toronto.
In Toronto, yes, that's
which
what I'm
is
saying.
my favorite element of the movie, the fact that it's very, very Canadian.
That's what I'm saying. The Canadian Chinese roots are very much in there. The point being, the movie is just very fresh in that regard. You've never seen a movie really like this. It seems.
Yeah, I mean, feel like this is going to be the most Canadian movie since Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, so that could be a lot of fun. So I'm just expecting this movie to be really. I think this is going to be definitely the Pixar kind of comedy leaning, which will have touching moments to it. Which again, is what
I
you
agree.
expect.
I agree.
So I expect this to be a funny movie, but also have those heart tuggers, as Pixar is known to build their empire on. But a lovely empire, like a golden, gleaming utopian empire.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So my number 6 is going to be Bardo. And it's got a longer title that I can't seem to find right now.
Wait, really? Okay. I thought it was just Bardo.
No, it's got like how Birdman has a subtitle that's like the unexpected virtue of it. It's got a title like that.
Wait, what about
which
Revenant?
Is honestly one of the reasons it's on my list.
Wait, did Revenant have a longer title no one talks about?
No, it didn't.
You know what's funny is real quick when I with the image for this. At first I thought it was Tim Burton. I swear to God, I thought it was Tim Burton.
He does look very Tim Burton-esque. I can see that
in that pose, with the sunglasses and the
kind of like how Guillermo del Toro is like a Spanish Peter Jackson. This guy's like a Spanish Tim Burton.
It just seems so much like why is you don't really see Tim Burton out in broad daylight like this, kind of like talking to somebody. Right. Okay, so yes, the Birdman director. Go on.
I would love to see Tim Burton try and direct a film in this guy's style, dude.
It would be quite heady and reversing, given the whole Keaton Birdman factor. Let's see the reverse of that.
So I literally don't have a lot to say about this. It's a Spanish movie. It's obviously like the main reason I'm excited for it is that it seems like it's the comedy follow-up to Birdman. So The Revenant like barely feels like the same director as Birdman outside of like some of the continuous camera shots. But tone-wise, that is a very, very, very different movie. And so this very much feels like a little bit of spiritual successor vibes where I'm just going to read out the storyline on IMDb, just because for a lot of these movies on my list, that's literally all we have to go off of. A chronicle of uncertainties where the main character, a renowned Mexican journalist and documentary filmmaker, returns to his native country to face his identity, familial relationships, and the folly of his memories, as well as a past and new reality of his country. So, Dragon, what this feels like to me is it kind of feels like the sort of like, what is my legacy sort of contemplating of Birdman mixed with, I'm guessing, a sort of autobiographical feel, but I like the fact that unlike something like Belfast, this isn't just straight one-for-one autobiographical. Like, he's actually like making a story out of it. And I mean, I don't know, this director is just a very, very, very altruistic. I love his style. I even like his earlier films, like Babel is a fantastic movie. So I'm looking forward to this. The cast is literally all just Spanish actors that I've never really heard of, but I'm sure they're all great. And like I said, I'm mostly just looking forward to this as a potential spiritual successor to Birdman. We'll see how it goes. All right. Number 5, already halfway through.
Okay. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Okay, so it's funny because I had Avatar 2 as like my one blockbuster, and this is like your one auteur movie.
Yes, that's yes. So this for easily is my most anticipated original film of 2022 for me. This is just the perfect project for Nick Cage. And I'm convinced that it came from, there was this period where the word was he sold the movie rights for like, I don't know how this even works, but the word was he sold the movie rights for basically someone heisting his Action Comics #1 that he sold. So I assume technically, legally, they would be like, okay, we are selling the movie rights for you having gotten rid of your Action Comics.
Oh my
number
god,
one
wouldn't it
in
be
a
amazing if the Action Comics #1 was a plot point in this movie?
Tiki, I'm sure it's going to be referenced. It has to be. Okay, they have to reference he's a Superman fan at least once during this.
Yeah.
So I imagine like, oh yeah, I had Action Comics #1. Oh really? Do you still have it? No, I had to sell it. So I'm sure they're going to like, but I almost played Superman once. If they do that, oh my god. Anyway, so I'm convinced like this takes root in that whole thing having it morphed into this project. I'm convinced of that until I hear otherwise. Regardless, so this is the perfect project. This seems to be like an absurdist and meta tribute to the man and the eccentricities we all know and love about him, and kind of a real kind of like self-admittance. Like, yeah, I'm an eccentric character. I know this. You know, I'm aware of. I'm going to own it though. We're going to make it something special. You know, Pedro Pascal's in it. Should be a lot of fun. I'm just really looking forward to this one, man. It seems like of all the Tiki, so many times am I tempted to watch a Nick Cage movie, which I mean, half the time it's like, am I just watching it for Nick Cage, or am I watching it because it's something Nick Cage could be good in?
Not half the time, Dragon. All of the time.
Well, I'm just what I mean is like every time a Nick Cage movie pops up,
I literally can't think of a Nick Cage movie where I'm not just watching it for Nick Cage.
Sorry, my point.
Even the good ones, even the ones where he's like very, very, you know, like the Leaving Las Vegas, you're still watching it for Cage.
Yes, what I mean, Tiki, is like half the movies when they pop, you've seen half of them already, knowing what you're going to get, and the other half being like, okay, these are the movies that like, is it just going to be yet another one we're watching for Cage, or could it be something that is tailored, that's a story that actually serves Nick Cage, like the best of those Cage works? This, I think, is going to be one of the best of the Cage works. It quite possibly could be. This could be the time that we really nailed it, and didn't just like, there's Nick Cage, but no, it's Nick Cage with something to say, something fun.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm really looking forward to this one. This one had me.
I'm pretty sure I've asked you this before, and the answer was no. But have you seen Adaptation?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you should look into that. I think you'd enjoy it if this is up your alley.
Yeah, like, I was sold on this just from premise alone. The trailer just cinched like, oh god, I have to see this.
Okay, so my number 5 is going to be Strange World, the new Disney movie. And Dragon, I honestly think that Disney has been on a bit of a roll. Raya was not great, but it did have a lot of ambition behind it. And you know me, we can differ on Encanto all we want, but I fucking love Encanto so much. And this looks like a very good kind of... the one thing I worry about this is that it sounds maybe a little too similar to Onward as far as like the, the fantasy elements go. But I do like the fact that it's a family of explorers. I like that angle of it. I feel like it could be very fun. And the concept art that I've seen of this thing looks amazing. That one piece of concept art, it just, oh man, it looks so good. I have a good feeling about this. It's directed by Don Hall, who's kind of a veteran. So yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm excited. We'll see where it goes. I mean, Don Hall obviously, has done quite a few of the Disney films. I'm not sure how many he directed. I'm looking into that right now. Okay, he co-directed Moana, which is big. He directed Raya, Big Hero 6, Winnie the Pooh. So, all right, not quite as prestigious of a resume as I thought, but still, he's an up-and-comer at Disney for sure. And yeah, like I said, I mostly just Strange World equals Doctor Strange. No, we'll get to Doctor Strange. Like I said, I'm mostly just putting this up there because I feel like the style looks really intriguing, and I'm very excited to see what Disney can do after Encanto, which I thought was one of their strongest of the new century so far. Like, I would like Encanto's not up there with Lilo and Stitch, but it's up there with pretty much any other movie that the studio's done in the past 20 years, in my opinion. So, So yeah, very excited for this one.
All right,
number 4.
The Batman.
Oh, I'm actually surprised this isn't... Well, I guess... No, I'm not too surprised, considering you've always been skeptical of Batterson.
Wait, they're calling him Batter? I thought it was Battinson. It's Batterson?
Whatever they're calling him. I don't know.
All right, so So yeah, on the plus side, this is coming to HBO Max after like 45 days, which I think is a good move for them. I'd like to think, imagine if they do that for all the blockbusters they're coming out with Warner Brothers and said, well, we can't put them all on HBO Max because of the way we ticked everyone off last time. But if we do like the little window thing, we rip off Disney Plus with their thing. It could work.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure this is going to do well because, frankly, it's Batman. Who's going to say no to a Batman movie? Half the people are going to the Flash just for Batman. It's not even his movie. So here's the thing. I think the quality of this could go either way. In that, if Reeves, what I'm hoping for, what I'm hearing, what I think could be really beneficial is this thing. If Reeves is building to Court of Owls is like a kind of a grand plan sort of thing. This trilogy that he's working on here could be something really special. We know how good Matt Reeves has done, at least in like part of a trilogy, which I'm thinking Court of Owls would be like two, like, we set him up at the end of this one, then it'd be like a whole sequel. But anyway,
I need that maze in live action, Dragon.
That's what I'm saying. If believe me, he would do the maze for sure. He'd have to. So I'm concerned. The only concern I have in this movie, the reason it's not higher on the list, is that I'm concerned leaning into, as the marketing has kind of shown us with the Battinson of it all, what have you, is that we're really leaning into angsty Batman, and like the for me the main thing is the overly bulletproof armor is like, come on, man, really? Like we have like a whole set of you get shot, it actually works like body armor. It's like Superman walking down a hallway. Come on,
right. I hear you on that.
So I'm not like super down on the movie at all. Like just those elements concern me. But on the flip side, I love the director. I love I love an early years Batman setting and kind of this telltale Earth One vibe, which is very much what they're going for. The big thing that has me and a lot of people intrigued is Reeves' cited Batman Ego, which is an excellent Darwin Cook, comic book story. The parallels about, Bruce Wayne building the mythology and the whole duality of Batman and Bruce Wayne, like that's really interesting. And I think all of that directed towards like an introspective look, like Bruce Wayne taking an introspective look prompted perhaps by the Riddler asking the right questions, could be a really solid movie. And of course, a really serial killer take on the Riddler, as we've been kind of led to believe with the marketing. So at the end of the day, it's always good to see Batman reinvented and on screen. I mean, I just wish we'd still, like, until this movie proves me wrong, hopefully, I'm still wishing we get like a Kevin Conroy level of equivalent to like a definitive Batman at some point on screen. Like something like okay, that could be like a Batman to span generations right there. Like that sort of adaptation, which I still don't think we've quite gotten in live action yet. So that's where I'm at on. Hopefully, the movie will prove me wrong. I am looking forward to it for sure. Because how can you say no to checking out the Batman? Come on.
All right. So, Dragon, I keep saying that this is the movie that has the least amount of information, but this really might be for me. Number 4 is Jordan Peele's Nope.
Yeah, the poster looks interesting on this. Is this an alien?
Well, that's the thing. This movie has a poster, but it doesn't even have like a plot description or anything.
I mean, I assume it's an alien.
It does look very intriguing, and it's Jordan Peele. All right, number 3. No, honestly, that's it, Dragon. Honestly,
I mean, I take it. My assumption with this movie is based on the poster alone. Is I think it's Jordan Peele's take on alien encounters.
Yeah, we'll see. I like my whole thing is that Jordan Peele is like, I loved elements of Us. I just didn't love how Us came together on a whole. So I very much hope that this doesn't get bogged down in the same sort of thing. But I have faith in Jordan Peele. I think that this is a director where it's like every movie he learns, every movie he implements new things. I think he's easily one of the most exciting new directors coming out of Hollywood. Definitely one of the most exciting new directors coming out of the horror scene. And as the years go on, Dragon, I'm getting more and more into horror as a genre. So this is definitely up there for me. I am super intrigued by this film. I really have no idea what it's about other than, like you said, the poster seems to imply aliens. We'll see. That seems like it's up Jordan Peele's wheelhouse. But, let's see. Daniel Kaluuya, Keke Palmer, and Steven Yeun being the main 3 stars of this. It'll be really cool to see Daniel Kaluuya in a Jordan Peele movie post Judas and the Black Messiah. Looking forward to that. So we'll see. I have a lot of faith in this one.
Was Kaluuya did he have any role whatsoever in Us?
I don't think he did. No.
Okay, that's interesting. I would have think he would be like the good luck charm with him going forward, like put him like a cameo or something. But okay.
I mean, I can look it up, but I don't.
Well, real quick, while you do, let me shout out Tom Beeks' comments here.
Okay.
He says, "Don't misinterpret the Batman with the Batman cartoon. Yes, there's a the big gag because there's the 2004 series, The Batman, which a lot of people making the joke. See, that when that credits comes up, like it says The Batman, it's like, kind of a rocket, kind of like a guitar riff sort of thing. So it's kind of funny. And no, I don't think the Batman's going to take place alongside the Joaquin Phoenix Joker film. But imagine how heady that would be a polarizing reveal.
Oh my god!
If it was like, hey, Joker's not in this movie, you know why? Because you already saw him. Years later, given the timeline, setting of
that
Joker,
would be like a split being an Unbreakable sequel level twist, Dragon. It really would.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think that, given the 80s setting of the Joker, I don't think it's going to happen.
And no, Dragon, he was not in Us at all.
Okay, well, there we go.
Unless it's an uncredited cameo.
It'd be sweet if that was the case. I snuck him in there. He doesn't need the praise, neither do I.
Jordan Peele is the Funhouse narrator, so that's fun. Anyways.
There you go. All right.
So yeah, into the top 3, baby. What do you got?
Lightyear.
Okay, yeah, this is a big one. Honestly, Dragon, I have a guess as to what your number 1 is, but I'm kind of surprised it's not this.
I mean, look, my top 3, honestly, the top 5, but particularly the top
I pretty much know what your top 3 is going to be. What is going to be number 1? That is the question. Is it going to be this movie or this movie? We'll see. Anyways.
Yes. So my point is, like, honestly, look, the top 3 are really interchangeable in that terms. I love all 3 of these movies. I am equally as hyped for all 3 of these movies. They could be like kind of like a shell gamed all you want. I'm just gonna love them all the same if I'm being frank. But putting them where they have to go. Lightyear is number 3. Again, a part of me is hoping for a Disney Plus release just for convenience's sake, but all the same.
No, I can't do that because this movie looks very, very cinematic.
I mean, still, I can enjoy cinematic at home, Tiki.
I can't. You know me. That's kind of where some of our opinions differ.
Right. Some of us don't have the luxury of like a walk down the lane to a movie theater. That's why.
God knows what I could not have done doing in a movie in streaming, Dragon. That just would not have worked for me.
Right.
Anyways.
Anywho, my point is, any way, shape, or form you have to see this movie, I'm absolutely seeing this movie because I'm so hyped for this. Already it has me with a Buzz Lightyear movie from Pixar. Yes, and then it's like, hey, not only that, it's the property and origin film for the toy line. So it's like not just like a Buzz Lightyear movie. It is like, okay, we're doing like essentially what Buzz Lightyear is based on. We got Angus MacLane making his feature directorial debut. Of course, he did a great job with Toy Story of Terror. I love me some Angus MacLane.
Yeah. And another example of Pixar kind of like cherry picking their recent talent. I love what they're doing there.
And Tiki, if this movie couldn't have me sold any more than all the stuff I just said, guess who's playing Buzz Lightyear? Chris Evans, Captain America himself, is playing. Well, that's synergy at its finest for me. It's like a targeted ad for me to watch this movie. So, I mean, look, Pixar, I love them, showing a lot of love. It seems like they're going to be showing a lot of love to the sci-fi action genre, which, we've kind of teed up with the sci-fi with WALL-E and, kind of stuff like that. So it's kind of cool to get back to those.
WALL-E was more of kind of like a cerebral sci-fi. This is going to be more of like an action sci-fi.
Exactly. So I like it's not just like another WALL-E. It's like, okay, we've been in the space, but we haven't narrowed down like what exactly a different part of the sci-fi genre.
Right.
I like we're taking from test pilot to Space Ranger, which is a story we haven't seen in Buzz Lightyear Star Command, which also big question in the room. Like, is there going to be any wiggle room for Buzz Lightyear Star Command? Or by the way, are we going to see Buzz Lightyear Star Command on Disney Plus by June, or are we just going to completely sidestep it? Because
I honestly have a feeling we're just going to push it under the rug, and I hate that.
I know, it just gets gaslighting at the highest order.
Yeah,
man. Like it didn't forget that at that shooting. Says, no, it didn't. It was wonderful. No, why do you have everything but the stuff I love? Come on. That Legend of Tarzan film arc, where is it?
Yeah.
You took my
I'm
money.
honestly really surprised about the Fillmore thing.
Yeah, there's no reason Fillmore should be on there.
Yeah, for real. Like, Tarzan, I understand, because apparently the Edgar Wright Burroughs estate is a bitch, but...
Yeah, it's unfortunate. So my point being, again, I can't be any more psyched for this movie just based on, like, everything I love is going to be in this movie. Pete, I found this out today, T. I completely forgot about this. Apparently, I don't know if this is, like, inaccurately reported. I think Pete Docter's writing this.
Oh.
So Pete Docter wrote this because, again, you're one of the creators of Buzz Lightyear. It makes sense he would write this.
I mean, it doesn't really feel like it's in his wheelhouse as far as, like, you know, existential fantasy goes, but we'll see.
It'll be a change for him, though. It's kind of interesting, you know? So, yeah. Also, Taika Waititi, he's been announced. He's going to be in the movie.
I mean, then again, I do think one of my big criticisms with Soul is that it basically felt like a less refined version of Inside Out, so it might be good for him to step away from that kind of movie.
Right.
All
so
right.
Again, also Waititi in the film, that's kind of cool. And
I feel like Waititi is kind of a little bit becoming a good luck charm for Disney, a little bit.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Not for Pixar itself, but just Disney in general.
No, for sure. It's not a bad thing. I mean, look what did in the finale of Mando season 1. It's not bad to have a little Waititi in your corner. So, you know, again, Tiki, so it's just, at the end of the day, the reason I'm so excited for Lightyear is this has been pitched for years between the Toy Story films. Like, can you imagine if they did a live-action Buzz Lightyear? People
it's basically like a fan script come to life.
Exactly.
And it's surreal,
Which is why I'm so jazzed out of my mind. It's like this fantasy is like now an utter reality. And
right.
I'll admit I'm a little annoyed the whole I'm still already explaining like no he's the human, he's not the toy, it's not, they didn't recast Tim Allen, don't worry, it's so outside of that I'm utterly hyped for this.
And just for the argument's sake of Tim Allen and Disney having a good relationship, it was literally just announced that the Santa Claus is getting a mini series, so
that is a real thing.
It is.
All right.
So Tim Allen and Disney are fine. It's just, you know, Buzz this is the real guy, not the toy. So there's the logic.
Hired, if you want to get all meta with it, they hired Tim Allen to do the voice of the toy for Buzz Lightyear, much like Alan McQuiggan. Much like Alan McQuiggan was the voice of the Zerg. Anyway, we're getting off track. Yeah. Okay. What do you got?
All right. Number 3 for me, Killers of the Flower Moon. I don't have a ton to say about this one outside of like it's a Martin Scorsese movie. It's got Leo in it. It's got De Niro. It's got Jesse Plemons, who I think Jesse Plemons is just like, that dude's career is just on a real trajectory right now, man. I think he's on track to become like a major A-lister. John Lithgow, Brendan Fraser. I mean, this cast is absolutely stacked. And it's a movie about the early days of the FBI, an investigation involving J. Edgar Hoover. We really don't know a ton more besides that, but I am pretty stoked for it. I like after The Irishman, I'm pretty much sold on whatever Scorsese wants to do. It's got a $200 million budget, which has me worried. That's a lot of fucking money to spend on a movie. And also, here's our Achilles heel, Dragon. Guess what streaming service it's going to?
Apple TV Plus.
Yep.
Apple.
So, you know, who knows if I'm actually going to be able to watch it. I mean, I swear to God, Dragon, this year it's like 2 big movies came out on Apple TV Plus that I have not been able to watch. Coda, and then Coda's the big one, but then the film version of Come From Away as well. So
I really want to see Cherry. That's the one I would love to see, but
yeah.
Oh, can we zoom out a little? I think we've accidentally zoomed in.
Oh, my bad. Remember when Greyhound was the fucking like big thing on Apple TV Plus? was.
Yeah. You know, I just want to go down to the Apple headquarters, wherever it's the Apple store, what have you, wherever it is.
The Apple store. It's
Whatever.
just like the Apple store.
Yes, like, you know, like the Apple store. I just want to see a bunch of people chuck apples at the buildings in dissatisfaction. We don't have your products.
Right.
We love your content, but we can't sample it. Okay.
All right. Let's see. Watiti plays Korg, IG-11, and maybe another alien or robot. And
well, we know Buzz Lightyear has a droid in that movie as like a robot companion, so it's possible.
Wouldn't it be funny if Watiti and Alan Tudyk kind of had like a rivalry, like fucking Ratzenberger and Bill Hader did?
Yeah, but that one.
I'm the good luck charm. No, I'm the good luck charm.
Right. But you know what's actually kind of funny though. God, Watiti was in Green Lantern. Of course, that's a test pilot story, and of course, you know, look at basically the way the Space Ranger thing works is there's kind of like a Green Lantern.
That must have been like before he was like doing anything.
Well, that was 2011, Tiki, so it was that far back. So yeah, it's kind of heady that he's featuring yet another test pilot film.
Right. Okay. So yeah, Killers of the Flower Moon. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's like it's guaranteed to get a bunch of Oscar nominations. It's probably going to be a big contender for Best Picture already. I just hope that I actually have a chance to see it. We'll see about that. All right, and finally, Dragon, our runners up. All right, Dragon. So I know that, not to kill the suspense, all right, but I know that your top two are probably Spider-Verse and Multiverse of Madness, right? Am I correct in saying that?
Well, no, Tiki, you're not right at all. It's actually a movie I did not put on the No, I'm kidding. Yes, of course.
Yes. So the question is, Dragon, what is number one? What Multiverse movie is number one?
All right, so let me tell you what number two is first.
Okay.
All right, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
I'm a little surprised. I thought that Doctor Strange would end up on your number one. All right.
Again,
right on.
All three interchangeable. I just want to be very clear about that. But again, this is going to be a big film for Phase 4. I mean, we've had 3 Disney Plus MCU series and a movie to build this one up.
Right.
That's a lot of build up. And honestly, more so after all the Doctor Strange goodwill that's been built, because that's the wonderful thing. Doctor Strange, the movie, was okay. You know, it sold me on magic more than I expected to, and I liked it. But then I kind of fell in love with the character the more he popped up in other things, because that's the Doctor Strange.
Totally.
That's the end goal I want. I want people like Spider-Man, for example, to go by. I have a problem. Let me go visit our friendly neighborhood doctor, Doctor Strange. So that's exactly kind of where I want with that character. And so we've had that, and we've seen all that goodwill has developed into he's kind of, instead of just like, okay, it's a mandatory thing, our characters get sequels, but you know what? It feels like he's earned the sequel. Sam Raimi's directing, which means a Bruce Campbell cameo is inevitable, which makes me really excited. Fingers crossed, Mysterio from Multiverse.
Right. That's not going to happen.
Can you imagine
if
this
it does, I'd be fucking stoked. But...
Okay, it'd be amazing. Imagine if he was the good guy Mysterio that Mysterio pretended to be when he was talking about the multiverse. Remember, he said, like, I come from a world where I'm a superhero. And of course, that was the Bruce Campbell one. Anyway, regardless. This movie seems very much in line with what the first Doctor Strange was teeing up at the end, which we've seen at play with something like Far From Home. I'm sorry, with No Way Home. Yeah. Where it's a consequence of messing with space-time and just magic and the whole Carl Mordo's thing of the bill comes due promise from the first film, which is like, okay, well, you messed with time, you messed with things you shouldn't have, and that's what you get with Multiverse of Madness. You're going to have to deal with that now. We're tasking the MCU's Doctor Strange, being tasked with repairing the fabric of the multiverse. Assumedly as part 2 in a trilogy of Doctor Strange films that I'm imagining is not going to end well. I'm imagining he's not going to be able to save the multiverse. I'm imagining things are going to go really crazy. One could say scary and multiversal. And I imagine this
or out of hand, one could say.
Yes, out of hands. So I think it's going to lead to a lot of possibilities for the MCU in Phase 4. Phase 4 has been off to a rocky start. I think this is the thing that's going to put it back in line, honestly. I think this is going to be
Yeah,
a big make or break
it's
film.
almost like they shouldn't have released like 10 things all in the same year, Dragon.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, the big thing being like this could put a lot of really important things in motion, like mutants and the FF, and perhaps big thing, I imagine, setting the stage for Secret Wars, perhaps. So, again, this could be the most ambitious and jam-packed Marvel film yet. Basically, much like Spider-Man No Way Home was at risk of being, this could absolutely be, okay, this one actually might be too jam-packed. We'll see.
Right.
So, seriously, but again, this movie is going to be huge for Phase 4. It's going to be the Civil War of
I like that it is in the first weekend of May slot, which was typically where the Raimi Spider-Mans would go.
Yeah, for sure.
So, so that makes me excited. Of course, Raimi himself, that's honestly might be the biggest factor here as to why I'm excited about it.
There is a lot riding on this film, Tiki. So I mean, I understand why this would absolutely be a number one, because everything's going to be riding on this film. All the eyes of the sphere are going to be on this movie, and the Batman, but it's going to be this movie.
All right, so my number 2 is going to be Baslerman's Elvis.
Yeah, so this was going to be on my list, but this is where we swapped our compromises here. So yes, I'm looking forward to this, but I am a little trepidatious with something I learned recently. Why don't you tell the folks why you're excited about this? Tell them who's directing.
Okay, well, I just said Baz
Well,
Luhrmann.
I mean, I'm sorry. Maybe remind the folks what Baz Luhrmann's directing.
Baz Luhrmann has done probably his 3 most well-known movies would be Moulin Rouge, Romeo plus Juliet, and then The Great Gatsby.
Now, if I recall, Great Gatsby was actually living up to the namesake, but the other 2, debatably so.
The Great Gatsby was freaking fantastic.
That's what I'm saying. So, from what I understand, it lives up to the namesake. It's great.
Yeah. Like, Great Gatsby is one of those things, like, when I heard, like, Jay-Z's doing the score, what are you doing, man? But it worked.
Like, the same cannot be said for Romeo plus Juliet.
Yeah, I have never seen Romeo plus Juliet.
It's not good.
I've only seen bits and pieces of Moulin Rouge, to tell you the truth. It's not really my type of movie. But I obviously have seen Great Gatsby, and that's where my excitement level comes from with this. Because I think what they could do with this is make Elvis into kind of a Gatsby-like figure who's like, like a larger-than-life public persona who has a lot of demons kind of buried underneath him. And that's exactly what Jay Gatsby is. And I feel like that's exactly what this Elvis could be. So I'm very stoked. Not like this guy has a visual style like no other. He really does. Like his movies are.
Moulin Rouge does look great, though. I mean, to give it credit.
Like it's the same thing as like you see one frame of a Wes Anderson movie and it's a Wes Anderson movie. It's that kind of philosophy with him. And I don't know. I just think that the story of Elvis is just over the top and theatrical and bombastic and tragic enough to like really work with this guy's wheelhouse. I think the story is insane enough that you can go into those, those like wild, creative, creative swings that this guy likes to take. I love the fact that he cast a complete unknown as Elvis. I'm totally down for that.
You remember when you've seen the Elvis lead in, right?
Yes.
But
yeah, overall, I'm very, very optimistic for this. I'm a little bit. I've heard some murmurings that it's not, that the production isn't going great and that it might be delayed. So I really, really hope we actually get this year.
Yeah.
But honestly, those murmurings have kind of been the only reason why it's not number 1, because it's pretty high up there for me.
See, here's the thing. Okay, so that guy, I forget the guy's name, but I can tell you he was Tex from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the main leader of, let's say the main knife man of the Shannon Tate murders. Sharon Tate murders? Yeah, the Sharon Tate murders from the whole Manson thing and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's the lead guy who's on the ranch on the horse. That guy, like Tex, it's a dumb name. That guy, who was also in Yoga Hosers, I believe, Kevin Smith's film. So that kid. So again, unknown Canadian, I believe, actually. So yeah, he that's impressing me. The main thing I'm excited for, also, I think we've zoomed in again, Tiki. The main thing I'm excited for is Tom Hanks in a very villainous role. He is playing Colonel Tom Parker.
Uh-huh.
So that's the thing that has me excited, because rarely, I mean, very rarely, I'm not saying it's never happened before, but you can count it less than one hand.
Oh my God, I'm sorry, Greg. I don't know why this thing is like zooming in so much. I don't know what the problem is here.
Right. But yeah, I mean, I'm just really surprised. But it's the fact that Tom Hanks so rarely plays a villain. This is like a guy who's not like specifically a villain, but he does really villainous things. Colonel Tom Parker has obviously led Elvis to ruin and with greed and everything. Could be an Arthur. It could be a Richard Sackler, man.
Totally.
So
Dragon, that guy is saying who's playing Elvis. You probably know a little bit more about him than I do. So why don't you tell him?
Well, I just answered it, Tiki. But yeah, so it's the kid from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood who played Tex.
Right.
Yes, I can't remember the kid's name offhand. He was also the kid in Yoga Hosers that I believe was, I forget if he was like a Nazi youth or not, with the whole bratwurst kind of bratzy thing in Yoga Hosers. But,
oh God.
Yes. Yeah.
The name is Austin Butler.
Yes, Austin Butler. That's it. Yes, Austin Butler is playing Elvis, and again, he seems good. He seems full of promise. Again, he was really good Once Upon a Time in Hollywood for the brief scenes that he did have. So it's not a bad call. And again, the Tom Parker thing really has me interested in the film. But also, I mean, I like Elvis. I like to see a biopic of Elvis. I mean, I still have not seen the Kurt Russell biopic. I hear it's great, but it's not easily able to stream, oddly enough. So yeah, and also, I mean, I've been hanging for an Elvis movie since Elvis and Nixon. The one was on Amazon.
Oh yeah, totally.
So that I'm definitely in the mood for an Elvis biopic.
I mean, I really think that that Baslerman, like his directing style, I really think it's going to fit like a glove on this. I just have a feeling it just seems like a good combination. Right. So yeah, we'll see.
Okay, so before we get to number one, that guy also said, "I'm late, but for me, the mainstream, the films that he's highlighting. So Batman more out there. Basically saying the new Batman movie is going to be really out there. Massive talent just seems like a weird premise.
Well, yeah, it is a weird premise, but
a delightfully weird
premise.
That's on brand for its star. Like, yes.
All right. Okay. Number one, Dragon. What is your number one, and why is it Across the Spider-Verse?
Part one.
Yeah.
If you're going to preempt me, get it right. So, Spider-Verse, just the original. Spider-Verse was one of the best Spider-Man films, easily. And honestly, so for me, I mean, I love that now it's becoming more debatable, because now there's a lot of stiff competition coming out. Debatably, Sony's best animated film, which again, now there's stiff competition where that statement was just easily like, of course it's the best. Well, now not so much.
No, I think most people still lean on Spider-Man. I lean on Mitchell's just because I feel like Mitchell's is a lot more relatable to me personally, but
I like that you have between that and the Lego movie. You're like, Storks? Was Storks also Sony?
Storks was Sony, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Sony's been up in their animation game, really. That's something to
Storks might have been
Warner Brothers. That was Warner Bros.
Yeah, Storks was Warner Animation Group. And so was Lego.
What? Wait a minute, really?
Yeah, Lego was Warner Animation Group.
Well, now I feel silly. But I did
really Mitchell's and
the original Cloud with a Chance of Meatballs was good. Let's be honest. Come on.
That's fair enough, I guess.
It's got Bill Hader, man. It was good. Anyway, so regardless, Spider-Verse is then fine, easily Spider-Verse, best Sony animated films. Anyway, so the fact that this film is going to be so massive, it necessitates two parts, and is continuing on the Spider-Man 2099 gag at the end of the film. It seems like, okay, he's going to be our mode of transportation, our main story thread. And of course, a Spider-Man people are really excited to get to in Spider-Verse that we didn't quite get time to do anything with, except for the whole pointing meme gag. So the fact that we're actually going to dedicate time, that's going to be Oscar Isaac's playing that Spider-Man. That makes me really excited. I'm hoping we're going to do some of the Spider-Man that we did not see in that film. For example, the big one for me, I imagine part one would be the place to do it in. The animated Spider-Man. I think that
I really want 60s Spider-Man in particular.
I'm saying the fact that 2099.
I know most people want 90s Spider-Man. I know that. I just didn't grow up with him. I grew up more with 60s Spider-Man. So,
Tiki, what I'm saying is, just given the fact that we have 2099 in the major role here, it suggests to me, well, if he's going to be in this, perhaps we're going to get more 60s.
Dude, Spider-Man. If 60s Spider-Man was in a major role, just forget about it. Oh my God.
Now remember, Tiki, the coolest thing about about this movie, I mean, without even getting to like all the speculative stuff, the thing we know is happening is when Miles goes to the other Spider-Verses, they're going to be every universe is supposed to be a different animation style that matches the corresponding Spider. So if Miles goes to 60 Spider-Man's world, we're going to see
it's all just going to look like shit.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Like we have like what if they did like the reused animation cycles? Like Miles just swinging towards the camera for like the 6th time.
Exactly. It's my point. So that's there's so much fun to be had there, and what I'm hoping is that the fact it's going to be in 2 parts makes me really think that okay, I think we're going to capture the origin of what Spider-Verse is all about, which is the ending of the '90s Spider-Man show, which was a multiversal 2-parter. So I think that's kind of what we're homaging here. It could be really exciting. I think that's easily how you get your occasion for story. Use Madam Web. Madam Web, obviously voiced by someone else, perhaps Helen Mirren, somebody I don't know, as kind of our gateway to that. And what I'm really hoping for, again, part 1, perhaps at least by the end, we feature Christopher Daniel Barnes and Josh Keaton and maybe Neil Patrick Harris to get all the animated Spider-Man. I forget if the '60s Spider-Man actor is still around. I believe they did the video game, which I believe you know about, the Shattered Dimensions game, which was the first time when they had the 4 Spider-Man who was either from the '60s show or from Spider-Man His Amazing Friends, which was great. I love that guy. So they had him. They had all 4 Spider-Man. Regardless, big plan though. Another reason I'm excited, I suspect the reason it's split into 2 parts is part 2 is going to be Sony's way of melding all the Spider-Man stuff into the same universe. It's how we're going to be able to
know what? Paul Soules actually just died last year.
Oh, man. Well,
yeah, that's a shame.
Last year, they might have, I don't know, I wonder if they've recorded.
May 26, 2021.
I don't know that there's a slim chance they might. I don't expect it, but there's a slim chance they might have gotten them. But I wouldn't count on it. Regardless, that's a shame. So anyway, regardless, I'm thinking like the way we're going to mix in at the MCU and like in association stuff and our animated stuff. How do we get Miles Morales in live action potentially? This Spider Cross Spider-Verse Part 2, quite possibly. I think that we're talking of like Venom meeting the Tom Holland Spider-Man. When let's just say we kind of closed the loop on that after No Way Home. I think the only way that specifically is going to happen is
it was literally like a layover in the MCU for Venom Dragon. That's what it was. He got off the plane, he had a drink, and then he got back on another plane.
Exactly. So Tiki, I think the only way we're going to make any of those other crossovers happen, like the reason we're going to have like the Vulture and Morbius, is going to be like part 2 of this big Spider-Verse movie. That's what I think is going to happen. So that's my speculation. Anyway, let's see some comments here before we get to yours. What about
let's see. So that guy says, I'm honestly surprised they haven't tried doing an Elvis biopic sooner. I mean, I'm sure there have been Elvis.
There have been at least 3. Again,
but like this one is definitely going to be like the most mainstream, high-profile one so far, I would say.
Yeah, this is gonna be the one that is just basically blatantly Elvis versus like the Elvis Nixon affair, or like Hercules has been the closest we've gotten to a pure Elvis film, it seems.
And that guy clarifies, I meant that Batman is the obvious mainstream movie I'm looking forward to, and the massive talent is the more out there movie I'm really looking forward to.
Okay, that's cool. All right.
Yeah. Then Atomic Beast says, what about Spectacular Spider-Man? I don't know. What about Spectacular Spider-Man, Dragon?
Yes, absolutely. That's the big. Basically, the only way you rival certain Spider-Man crossovers, I'll put it that way, is if you get Tiki. People are going to collectively lose. Animation fans will lose their minds if Christopher Daniel Barnes has a conversation with the Spectacular Spider-Man, Josh Keaton. And then you throw Neil Patrick Harris into the phrase, the crappy CG animated Spider-Man, but still has his fan.
Wait, was he the MTV one?
Yeah, he was the MTV one.
Oh man! Wow!
Then people are going to go even crazy if they bring in Rino Romano as the Spider-Man no one likes with Spider-Man Unlimited, who is basically
What if they bring in the Japanese Spider-Man?
Well, no, that one actually is happening.
Are you serious?
You didn't know this? Yes, they're doing the Japanese Spider-Man. Yes.
In this movie?
Yes.
Oh, dear God. Okay, I did not know that.
If I'm right, in the first look you see again with the animation shift, we go to a very anime-styled universe, and I believe that's where we're going to introduce him in.
Okay.
So, and also, like, it'd be really funny if, Spider-Man Unlimited, which for me, I've never been crazy about that shit. That is like a ripoff of 2099. Imagine if 2099 had opinions about that. If you met him, it's like,
Right,
wait a minute,
right.
you're basically me with a dumb web cape. Why
And
do
of
you
course,
have a cape?
Oscar Isaac. I mean, you know, he's like one of the top stars right now as far as just sheer talent goes, and I feel like anything he's in is just elevated by him being in it.
Unless there's a major shift, Tiki, we're going to see him as Moon Knight in March.
Yeah. Well, there might very well be a major shift, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see what
there
happens.
might be several major shifts.
Yeah.
And again, that's why I'm terrified. I gotta be honest, Tiki. The movies that might not make the cut this year, it could be Black Panther 2 is my money. Avatar is literally towards the end of the year, so if that one gets pushed even a little,
if it gets pushed back, it's like whatever. We'll wait one more year for it. We've already waited like 12 years, whatever.
Just imagine like everyone. You announced the date, Cameron. Why? You finally announced a date.
Right.
Not just a year, a date. Why? I'm doing it all in animatronics. Okay, we'll take your time then. It's like, yes, please take 5 more years if it's going to be all animatronics. Please do it. You actualize your Terminator.
Dragon, it's underwater animatronics, okay? It's not going to happen. We'll be lucky if we get one animatronic, all right?
I'm saying the land. Everything's on land.
All right.
It can be on land.
Oh, God. I'm sure most of the movie is going to be underwater. We'll see about that.
How many they got? Do they have gills?
Yeah, I don't know. Who cares about Avatar? I do, that guy, after going to Pandora, the World of Avatar at Disney World mostly, but mostly with Avatar, I am just more intrigued than anything else. I'm intrigued what Cameron's going to do with it. I'm intrigued to see just how good the visual effects are. I'm intrigued to see Pandora from an underwater level and see all the creatures he comes up with. I don't think it's going to have a great plot, but I'm intrigued with like pretty much everything else about it except for the plot. So
see, for me, the only Avatar I care about is the Avatar where people are throwing rocks and fire and water at each other and a little bit of air.
Right. I mean, that's totally fair. That is definitely the better Avatar of the two.
Yeah, but it's always just bothered me so much that we had for the best, because now we can forget that movie a lot easier. It's the whole The Last Airbender. But you stole its title, but maybe for the best.
All right. Okay, so finally, Dragon, my number one most anticipated movie of the year is Ari Aster's Disappointment Boulevard. I am effing stoked for this thing, Dragon.
So what's the deal with this thing?
I honestly don't know. There's very little known about it. It is a hold on. I'm gonna go to the wiki.
It's basically an old Joaquin Phoenix. That's all I know about it.
Okay, well, first of all, there's been a lot of like crazy production photos of Joaquin Phoenix just walking around town like half naked and shit like that, and it's like, oh, that looks like straight up like a great like Joaquin Phoenix kind of role right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with that in mind, so I guess one of the big things that I am excited about with this, obviously Ari Aster, like he definitely like I think that Hereditary is the best horror film of the new century so far, of the past 22 years. That is number one for me. The fact that I did not put that movie in my top 10 the year it came out is a freaking tragedy looking back on it, honestly. That guy says, I mean, sure, it'll look great, but the first Avatar is a complete meh in my mind. Again, besides the look, that guy, that's absolutely totally fair. Absolutely totally fair. I'm just kind of a cinemaphile that way.
All right, he's in with Ari Aster, man. You regained that guy's interest. What do you got?
Okay, so this is an upcoming horror comedy film. So it's Ari Aster, and I feel like that's a good trajectory for Ari Aster, because I feel like Midsommar was not quite a full horror movie. It was more of like a weird kind of cult movie that had a lot of horror elements, but also some comedy elements in it. And this is going one step further. It looks like this is going to be straight up horror comedy. And there's not much known about it outside of the fact that it is going to be a decades spanning an intimate, decade-spanning portrait of one of the most successful entrepreneurs of all time. So, Dragon, what I'm assuming this is going to be is it's going to be like more of a personal horror story. It's going to be like this guy builds himself up as an entrepreneur, and then the horror side of things is going to be his life going terribly, terribly wrong. That's what I'm predicting here with this. Let's see. I'm just looking at some of the quotes here about Ari Aster describing the film. He described it as a 4-hour-long comedy nightmare, which sounds fucking amazing for me. I don't think it's actually going to be 4 hours long.
I doubt that.
But if it's 3 hours long, I will gladly take it, because Ari Aster is the type of filmmaker where it's like, I will watch however long of a movie he has for me, man. I mean, he only has 2 movies out so far, but I think both of the movies he has out are like almost 10 out of 10s. Like, yeah, I would probably give Midsommar a 10 out of 10 in retrospect. I feel like that movie is aged really, really well. Obviously, probably the best Florence Pugh performance we've ever gotten. So this is just on track to be more of the same. And it's very, very different from anything that Ari Aster's done before. I got to admit, I do wonder with the entrepreneur thing, I wonder if a cult does get involved in the plot somehow, because that is sort of Ari Aster's wheelhouse right now, is cults. We'll see. But yeah, as it stands now, this looks to be an Ari Aster movie that might actually have the potential to break into the mainstream. Maybe some Oscar love for Joaquin Phoenix, like there should have been for Toni Collette. Because I will wager to say Toni Collette may be one of the most robbed, like should have gotten a Best Actress nomination, but didn't in recent history. That guy says, I agree with you on Ari Aster. He's great in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, easily one of the big, like, I don't even think he's up and coming. I think he's cemented himself with those 2 movies. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where his career goes from there. So, yeah, very stoked for this. Again, I mean, it's a little ambiguous on if it's even going to come out this year. Like, we shall see. So, but I do think it's going to be his biggest film yet. Maybe, like, it's going to take a lot to actually, like, eclipse Hereditary as far as quality goes. But I'm still looking forward to seeing what he does with it. And I absolutely think that he has the potential to make this, like, a freaking epic. So, all right. And that's my list, Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
How arbitrary. We finished.
I know,
ranking
right?
Things. Yes.
All right, folks. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to engage with us in this conversation this evening. It's been a fun time. Big thanks to that guy and Atomic Beast, per usual. You guys both rock. You should know that by now. All right. Any final thoughts, Dragon? Parting words, if you will.
There's a lot to look forward to in 2022, folks.
But you know what I'm looking forward to the most?
What?
Morbius, baby! Hell yeah!
Bring on the Keaton.
All right, see y'all later. Dragon, I'm going to go see the 355 right now.